Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Okay, Fudge, just as you press the button, the Fudge walks through. Let me just get the pussycat down. You're probably wondering what I'm up to now, but this is preparation for the retreat. The gorgeous Diane is staying with me for a few days prior to the retreat, and she's been prepping all of her goodies for the pop-up shop. Now, Diane is the one that gifted me the pouch and last year, and the zipper bag that you saw in the last video. So I've been talking to the designer of the pattern, who is a friend of Diane's, a Mackay lady. All her details will be linked below. She's kindly agreed to pop the PDF of that little zipper bag up on her website, so you guys can actually get a copy of it to download if it's something that's caught your eye. We noticed in the comments that you were like, wow, haven't seen anything like that, especially the fact you can take the inners out via that Velcro system. Plus, now that this is all done, I just wanted to show you a couple other pouches that Diane has prepped for her pop-up shop. So soon all this will be packed up to be taken into the venue for the girls on Monday. So we thought we'd just film this quick little Saturday afternoon video, and of course the rest of this video will be the shenanigans of the retreat. So isn't it just gorgeous? Like, I'm so privileged to have a little looky and a shoppy before the rest of the girls have a rummage. But she's been working so hard. She's done up all these little morsels of lace. Just look at them, beautiful. Some pin cushions. She's been creative with some egg cups here, more pin cushions, more little morsels, just gorgeous. Packages. She dyes a lot of her own laces. Blankets are a real trend at the moment as a substrate to stitch into, so she's kindly cut up some pieces that the girls can grab, and really good value. Like, she's giving them a lot for the money, which is awesome. That's how we like to roll. More packs. Now here we are back at this retreat package. What are we going to call it? The zipper pouch that's just gone viral. So we've been scrambling to get hold of the designer and the pattern and everything. So yeah, we've been chatting since. She's technically wholesales the pattern through a couple local stores, but that's a bit tricky for those of you who live across the pond. So she said, I'll whack it up on my website. So really pleased. So that Stephanie is doing that for us. So this is another version of it. Did you want to unzip this for me, Diane, while I hold this camera? Look at the work. Miss Jennifer Clouston, look at this. Totally inspired by your beautiful handiwork. Isn't it gorgeous? I'm very tempted. I said to Diane, if this is still unsold by the end of the week, I'm going to buy it. It's mine. I can't be buying all the... Oh, stay strong, Corinne. Look at that. What a clever pattern. Do you remember what Steph calls this pattern?
The Pam.
The Pam. There you go. The Pam is the name of the file. I didn't have all that info in the last video, so when you all started asking questions and tracking down the pattern details, yeah, we've managed to get that for you. How clever is that? So this is another one. This one's got a little birdie nestled in some crocheted elements. Look at all the seed stitch. There's a doily in the back there that's been integrated. Oh, gorgeous. So there you go. Now, I might actually go to the end of the bench because the zipper pouches, we've got some here that are going onto the stand. So I just wanted to show you those. Look at that. Miss Jennifer Clouston influence there. Look at all the lace. Gorgeous. That's gorgeous. Look at this one. So some great ideas here, guys, if you wanted to revisit the zipper pouch with the zip to give you the pocket, but then on the other side, the zip with the vinyl, the plastic, just so you can see what the project's all about. Another one, a little bit of Jennifer Clouston influence there. Look at all that, all the seed stitch around that. It's a little bird, gorgeous. So that's those. And look, how's that for a piece inside? All those orphan quilt blocks, they're great for these types of pouches, and that then gives you the front to work them. Hubby made spindles. Brother made spindles. These girls are going to get spoilt. Now look at these ones. We were talking about making a few of them up, but keep them generic, and then a piece of embroidery could be, you know, stitched on. Same with these. Make the pattern up, but just put, say, a muslin or a calico front, and then as time goes on and you do a stitchery, it could be slip stitched onto the front. So you've just got like a template, a base is what we're saying. And these sort of felt like that to me as well. She's used some jeans and some fabric, and I'm like, I'm tempted to grab one of these because you could stitch into it still. As projects become, you know, part of this pouch, little morsels could be added to the front of these. So just another idea of the old zipper pouch. I think we really started something. They're gorgeous. So yeah, we're just making sure they're all priced and everything's packaged, and then we pack it all up into the tubs. Look at these beads. Gosh, I never got into making these. I must have missed the trend because I don't think I was around on YouTube when all this was happening. You had some of these at our last retreat and they just went like that, lollies. Everyone was playing with little beads. Aren't they gorgeous? Hang them on a zipper pull, on a journal. Aren't you pretty? And then look at all the little baskets. Lovely. And then this is a needle threader with a split ring, and then on that split ring, dingle dangles. Because as Diane was saying, she's forever losing this little slithery guy. So making a dingle dangle off of him is just a great idea. So there's a heap of them. There's a couple in there that caught my eye, but the rule is wait. There's a couple here. This is sort of what instigated our thinking of making a blank, and then needlework goes onto that on a rainy day. So once again, blank canvas. So there's possibilities. Or even if someone you know is dabbling in this whole slow stitch business, you could make them something like this for Christmas or something like that, and then their pieces could go onto it. Just a different gift idea. Now I might, I'm just going to stop the video and go over to my desk because I'll show you a couple things over there as well. The sun's a bit bright here, so I've sort of taken a couple items to the other desk, so I'll be back in a sec. Okay, we're back. Now, what I wanted to show you here is, this is what I was gifted and showed you in the last video. So this is what started the whole, what is that pattern, where do we get it from business, and the pouch, of course. I've since purchased these two. Can never have enough pouches, but look at that. Seriously. Just gorgeous. That's all thread painted, guys. Isn't that pretty? Look at that. Look at that thistle. Stump work. Like, we're batting above our pay grade here, Corinne. Dingle dangles. There you got all these beads and bits of jewellery we pick up. Look at some of those stitches there. Isn't that just beautiful? Gorgeous. Couldn't help myself. The rule of wait until the end of the retreat. I'm like, no, the girls got to have some sneaky privileges. So they are new. Now, this bag. Now, if you watch Dawn Meldrum, you would have seen Dawn make this bag in the black and white fabric with a hint of the oranges. When I first saw this was last year, and it was one of the bags that Diane had for sale, and quite a few eyed it off, even some workers at the resort, but it didn't sell, so it went home and it's come back. Maybe we'll find its owner, but it's beautiful. It inspired me. That's what made me start thinking about the denim fabric from my mum's denim skirt, making a memory bag that would travel with me, this is where it all happened. So I think 6 months later, I reached out to Diane and said, that bag you had there, what was the pattern? That was the pattern. Now, I found that at Dewdrop Inn. This is actually a pattern that is available through Birch. So most good patchwork sewing outlets who buy from Birch would probably have this bag. If not, if you were to Google it, you will find a shop that would have this pattern. All right, so long story short is Dawn at around the same time, she spotted the pattern in a store down near her, ended up making bag, following through with it, which I didn't do, still have the pattern. And we saw that on her channel. This is the bag that started it all off. So it's here again for, I guess, Dawn to have a little look, because she's been hearing me banging on about this U-Butte bag. Isn't it just gorgeous? So if anyone else is interested in having a go, it is full on. Let me warn you that experienced sewers do this project. The pattern is fantastic, and Dawn will say that it's hard work, but you walk through the steps, and when it comes to putting it together, every little element is prepared in advance, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right through. You tick them off as you make all of the little bits, and then when it comes to actually constructing the bag, it's just beautiful. So have a closer look at that. And I sort of said to Diane at the time when she was telling me about this pattern that maybe one day her and I get together at a mutual friend's place, sort of not quite halfway between here and Mackay, and spend a weekend on it, because I have a feeling I might need a little help, because it looked complicated. And then hearing Dawn's feedback, I was like, oh yeah, I haven't done this type of work for a while. Plus, I guess I could probably prep a lot of the panels, because I'm really interested in the embellishment side of things and what I could stitch. So even if I got a lot of these panels done or cut out and start the embellishment, then when I got with Diane, she could probably lead me through, you know, constructing it. So if anyone out there is interested in making a gorgeous duffel bag, it's a beauty. That's the pattern. All right, I think that's covered all of the questions about the pattern, the PAM, which you'll find in the description, a link to Stephanie Allen's business, and she's kindly put the PDF up on her website. Her website is more tailored to workshops that she runs out of her studio, and she wholesales her patterns now through businesses. But she's, Corinne and her mates can go there, and as a special, she has popped it up for us. So there you go. That'll make it easier to get your hands on that. And I couldn't help but tell you about that as well. It's a cracker, but challenging. All right, guys, I'll tune out. The next part of this video will probably be Monday at the retreat with all the girls. Talk to you soon. Bye. Hello, everyone. I've stepped back into the corner to give you a bit of a sneak look at what we're up to. The girls are busy creating their project, so I'm going to do a whip around the room and I'll sort of show you what they're up to. A lot of talking, mind you, and giggling, but they're doing well. They're doing well. So here we come. Their box is one on the table. They're in the process of building their little houses that'll be added to the table.
I love it.
So busy, busy. Just come down a little bit further and there's some more little houses here. Hello. Some more little houses. I wonder if you can guess who this would be.
Stop, Joe. Are you?
Railway Cottage. Karen. Look at this. Can't wait to see her little houses.
Cabins. Some fussy colours. Anyway.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I love it when people go off the path and create their own. Hello, Trisha. This is my buddy from America.
And we've made beach houses.
Beach houses.
We're at a beach resort, right?
We're having beach houses. Over here. More creativeness. Here we go. Gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. And actually, you're going to put yours on a... No, you're not. Someone's doing a jacket over here. I think it's Colette. Gorgeous. Look at Margaret. She's playing. She's going off on her own creative space.
Oh, yours is amazing.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Corinne.
Look at all these girls going for it here.
I love that.
Gorgeous. I'm going to back around this way. We've got a bit of a pop-up shop thing happening here, so I just don't want to trip over as I pass. There you go. We've got a swimming pool this side of us and a lake that side. Hi, Rachel. All right, I'm going to sign off now and leave everyone in peace so they can create. See you later, guys. Bye.
Hello, everyone. How are you? I've decided I need a project. Now, everyone's stitching at the retreat. They're having a whoop of a time, and I'm sort of just cruising around, chatting, socialising, and I'm sort of feeling like I need something to sit and stitch, and at least a project to be small that I can move around the room, sit on a chair and just sort of chat to the girls. So I thought I'm gonna just pull together something here that I can take today. My voice is so hoarse. Oh my goodness, talk about laugh, muck around, having a ball. We're 2 days into the retreat. Don't even ask me what time of the morning this is. I woke up and I'm like, I really need to stitch something. I picked up a piece of fabric yesterday. We went for a road trip out to Howard Drapery. Hi Vicky, how are you? It was fantastic. The girls shopped up a storm. So, and I thought, I've been stitching hexagons together for my quilt, but yeah, no, not interested in that. I could take that, but no, we're not going to be doing that. I might take that down to Newcastle to stitch. If I continue with it, it'll be finished. I'll have nothing to do in Newcastle. So what I'm thinking is I spotted this fabric yesterday at Vicky's. Look at this, strawberries. I think strawberries are on my mind a bit because I picked up that kit in Japan that is those little strawberries with leaves on the garland. I haven't made it yet. That'd be a good thing to take down to Newcastle actually. I've got a few days either side of the retreat to do some stitching, so must remember to do that. Anyway, sidetracked. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to take something in. Late yesterday afternoon at the retreat, I stitched a piece of calico onto some wadding. I like that extra texture, so I thought, you know, I'll do that, get that into position. And because I'm thinking a pin cushion, it'll either be that big, which I very much doubt. And when I say that big, what does that mean? Hang on, let's measure it. That would be, there's no inches on this little cutting mat, so sorry to everyone who's in inches, 20 centimetres by 15. But I was in the shower thinking about it, and I thought, no, I think it'll be one side will be one of them. So they'll be that big, which if I knew the maths at this hour of the morning, I'd say, but we'll measure it. So 15 centimetres by 10. Oh, my voice sounds terrible, doesn't it? Oh, goodness me. So I'll be fine. Maybe I'll make 2. I could now. I'm prepped for 2. So what have I got here? I've got my strawberry fabric. I went to the cupboard, Fudgy's at my feet. Fudgy's so put out. I've got a house full of guests, a house full of girls, and he's just thinking, what is going on? All this giggling, stitching and interrupting his routines. So he's feeling a little bit put out, I think. He tries to find me and get on my lap, and he sort of walks across everyone's laps and then looks at them as if to say, hang on, you're not my mum. So it's pretty cute. Not for him, but it's like you can see it going through his head. One of the girls at the retreat is working with French General Fabrics on her box, and it's just gorgeous. So I was looking at her little pile. She had some fat quarters. So I've gone to the cupboard and I grabbed out just a mitt full of them. whether they're the right colour. Now that I look at those strawberries, maybe these are a little bit too burgundy, but we'll see. That pack is that one, if you're wondering what I'm using. Then I always like some checks, stripes, and even spots. See, that's a good one. So I grabbed those, and that is a Lucello. It was in amongst it. So these are all old thrifted ones from, yeah. But I think we need a little bit of dark as well. I was just looking at the flower because I was thinking, well, what can I thread paint on it? And I thought, oh, there'll be something in here. See, they look too rusty. That's gorgeous. I don't think these are the right colour. Might get away with a little bit, you know, like a little slither or something. But anyway, let's just get started. I grabbed my neutrals. I've got them. I even grabbed my French fabrics. There might be some treasures in here. Maybe there's something in here. See, not the right colour, is it? There's red and there's red. And I tend to buy, when it comes to French stuff, this darker red. Well, that might work. A bit of that. What else is in there? That might work. Yeah, leave it out. That might work. That's enough. Stop pulling stuff out. You should see my desk, guys. The room next off of my craft room, there's work everywhere as everyone's been sitting and stitching. Then there's a couple of the ladies come in here and sit at my desk and play. So I might just twist the camera up. Look, I am here on this corner. Look at all this. None of this is mine. None of it's mine. I'm sitting here. My scissors are the boundary. I've got things to the side of me. It's gorgeous. I tell you, when you're a stitcher, you just got to stitch, don't you? I think that's what my problem is. I've got to stitch. All right. I also grabbed my ribbons. I thought I might get a little bit of ribbon embroidery. And I've got some reds in there and a cream. So there you go. Oh, and I found that trim. I've got a heap of these little trims, and I picked up more when I went to Japan. I haven't used them a lot. This was part of a pack. I think it was boho tree. Let me look into that. I better confirm that. So I thought, well, that was the first one that fell out the top. Nothing like a little bit of bling. All right, stop talking. Get snipping. So what are we going to take out of this? Where's a good strawberry? You're a cutie. Right, we've got the words. Okay, I like that because we get the flower. Grab my scissors. That's someone else's scissors sitting here to the side of me, so I'm just grab my scissors. Don't cut the word strawberry, Corinne. What's it say? Juicy and sweet. That's me. I'm sweet. My goodness. Oh, we've laughed and laughed and laughed. I might leave that strawberry intact until I know I don't need it. Plus, that could slide under something and peek out the words. So what are we doing today? Well, today we've been working on the houses around the box for the last 2 days. But today we're going to work on the lid, which is the little bird. You know the little bird I've made on quite a few projects where it's the little squares all placed down, and then you stitch around them real slow stitch wise to make it look like it's a bird block out of the quilts. It's a bit of a classic block. It's not my design. You Google quilt bird blocks and there's quite a few out there. Little sparrows looking things, and yeah, they're gorgeous. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to work on the bird box. That might do for a moment. So I like that stamp too. Look at that. That's cute. Let's nibble that out. I don't really want to. Even that there. No, look, we'll go back up. I've got a stamp here. Oh my goodness. There's This is why you shouldn't be crafting it. I reckon it's 4 in the morning. Don't judge me. It's that 3 o'clock. I'm awake, looking at the roof of the bedroom. I should be asleep, but I'm not. Oh well. I thought they're all asleep. It's all very quiet. 1 or 2 might walk in because we seem to all have similar body clocks. It's uncanny. You hear the girls chatting and they're like, oh, I'm sick of waking at 3. I wake at 3. I do too. So I'll tell you, when birds of the feather flock together, don't they? Is that the saying? I did snip that stamp. Look, I've taken a chunk out of there. Maybe we can disguise that. Mr. Fudge is scratching around. I like words. Fabric treasures, like, oh yeah, that'd have to be. Yeah, Fudgy. So if this strawberry fabric caught your eye, give Howard Drapery a call and just have a chat to the girls. I'm not sure about overseas, guys, but you might be able to do a screenshot. Maybe I'll give it fabric details here. So maybe take a shot of the screen now, and then you put that photo into the Google search. You'll see a little camera that's got multicolored colours around the actual camera. Like the camera is multicolored. Have a look at that, and you might be able to find it locally. I don't know. I think it's fairly current, isn't it? I don't know. I heard the girls talking about it, and then I looked over and saw strawberries in their arms. I was like, oh, I'll have a chunk of that. All right, let's get this trimmed off. Might take that whole piece. The only thing I haven't got on my table is some crocheted little lacy bits, but that's all right. I can just grab that. Oh, someone's sewing basket goodies are sitting here beside my leg. All right. Okay. Got some strawberry themed pieces. Neutral. Let's start with some texture. What can we put in there? Is there some really old cool stuff? That's a piece. It's got a bit of lace on the end of it. That calico, you know, I'm happy for it to be seen, but if I was thinking I was at the retreat going to be stitching. So now that I'm at home, catching a moment that I can potentially layer in some cool pieces, you know, I'll add some more. What's a piece of goodness knows what? I'll whack that on too. I do have a seam happening, so maybe I keep that little lacy edge back a bit so it's not caught in the seam. I want it to feel, you know, nice and textured and layered and yummy. Maybe it goes this way. I don't know. Just keep whacking it down and see what happens. And then I'm thinking this would be the fold. So I do need to keep that in mind when I start placing the decorative. That's cool. The decorative piece, you know, the little strawberries. That piece is small. Try not to overthink it, Corinne. I don't think I could overthink it. I feel like I'm on autopilot. What are we going to do today? Like I said, we're going to work on the little bird on the roof. It's like day 3. I think I said that. Oh my goodness. I should probably not be filming and, oh, what's that? Filming and speaking at the same time. That's a treasure. We can't be using that. I'm thinking of taking them for an ice cream this afternoon. They seem to be well behaved enough, so I think we might take them for a treat. So probably 2 o'clock, we might head down to the Esplanade. We've got some fantastic ice cream shops in Harvey Bay. And the one in particular, the parking's great beside it. And I thought, you know what, we can sneak down that side street, pop out on the esplanade, because it can be very busy. School holidays. And maybe 2 o'clock, there won't be too many people around, because, yeah, it gets a bit busy. And get an ice cream. Plus, too, the ones, the out-of-towners can have a little walk through. There's like a little park grounds opposite the ice cream shop. So they can walk to that edge of the sand dunes and have a look at the ocean, which would be really cool. They may not have had time to do that. Okay, so we've got a bit of a neutral thing happening. I don't know if it'll work with the design, but at least we've got some bits on the table. Just like putting these bits there, put my bits here. So what are we going to do next? Do we look at features? Let's have a look at features. That's been chopped a bit, so it could do with tucking into something. Let's flip it to get that hidden. Let's just slide you in here maybe. The words at the top, we have a seam. No, it's becoming a feature down here. Just peeking you through. I wouldn't say I like that lining up those edges, but I could live with it. That's got my name written on it. Look, pen. Must have been up to something. This one. This is my feature. Got to have a feature. So I might just pop that there and that there. No, I want to stitch them. Don't be crowding them. Maybe that there. What have we got? Treasures. Fabric treasures. If that went under there, we'll cover fabric. We've got to fold. Hold the phone. We've got to fold. So that'll work. That's all good. Maybe I could do that because, hang on, it will be looking at me potentially like that. So that will work. Maybe these strawberries should be. You're probably yelling at the screen. Spin them, Corinne, spin them. I reckon I should do that. So when it's sitting on my desk looking at me, that would be one side. Yeah, I like that. I like it. We'll sneak you into there. I didn't bring pins to the table. That would have been a smart thing. There'd have to be pins in this joint. Everyone's borrowing things, so there's probably not pins in this place. Is there pins in my... I've got pins in here. No, I wouldn't have pins in there, would I? I wouldn't be using pins on hexies. Oh my goodness, guys, I should just go back to bed. Let me just look around the room. Because there's so much piles of everyone's stuff here, I feel a little bit, where's all my gear? Did you catch volume 8? The Roxy's girls. Hang on, guys. Where's the pins? Where's the pins? Oh, I found a couple. I seriously can't find a thing. I need them all out of my room. It's all too much. Look, there's a couple in here. So there, did you catch volume 8? Racheal and Sarah's. I still am tossing my construction method around. I know the colour scheme. I figured that out straight away. I just knew it was going to be cream and the tea-coloured stained tone and blue. I've pretty much ruled out a piece of cloth that I stitch everything on, sort of like what Racheal's doing, just that one layer. I'm talking layers. That's where my head's at. I've pretty much ruled that out. I've got the Just Because quilt in the back of my head, which is a piece of wadding or batting, and then all of the elements go on. And the bonus of that idea is you can flip it over and add more on the back. So you could do another version of the project on the back to a degree. One could be quite full on, and then you flip it over and there's just elements of it. That's sort of where I'm at. But what I'm struggling to work out is the construction method from that point. So where I'm at the moment is cut a heap of pieces of wadding. This is wadding. I need to talk it out, and no one's around. So let's just get this out of my head. So I'll cut a heap of pieces of wadding, probably 9, just like the Just Because quilt. I need to check measurements, but I'm thinking maybe 16 inches by 16 inches. I'll need to get the calculator out and make sure that that's a decent size. And instead of the Just Because quilt being, you know how we had fabric hanging over everywhere, so that when the next piece of wadding slid in, I would peel that little edge back and do a running stitch to bring that wadding in. That fabric would drop down and then away I go again. That I don't think I'll do. I'm thinking that these 9 pieces of batting will just float around my desk for the whole 6 months. And as the prompts come up, that will be my piece that will get the prompt. Then I can just pick another one up and do something on it, and another one, another one. So I won't know how the quilt will come together until the very end, where the Just Because quilt grew as we went through the project. And I think that's my decision making. I think that's what I'm going to do. I don't really want to do the same, but I love the fact that I can do the volume 8 and then flip over this piece, and I've got a 16 by 16 each of plain batting still being seen, and then I can come along with some other bits of fabric in the meantime and work at the back. And then maybe what we might do is, because I don't have this hanging out fabric that can hide joins, I'm thinking of doing some sashing, they call it in the quilting world. So once I'm ready to put it together, there'll be some form of joining fabric to bring it all together. That's what I'm going to do. Is that what I'm going to do? Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Then I could maybe, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Then I could get little scrappy pieces of fabric and stitch them together to make the sashing. That'd be different. I don't want to do exactly the same as Just Because I want to do Just Because Japan exactly the same. And then bring in my sashiko fabrics and some of my stitching. Yeah. And the other thing is, I don't think I want a camphor quilt like Just Because. In Just Because, everything had the running stitch everywhere. That's what held it all down. This one, because I'm just addicted to Sherry Iris at the moment and her technique of joining pieces of fabric together. I had a little practice. Oh, here we go. We're going off on a tangent. Hang on. Hold. Sit quietly, everyone. Okay. Where's Snail? Snail tray has my fabric in it for this volume 8 that I've been playing with. Where's Snail? I'm looking around the room and I can't see him. Oh my gosh. Oh, I can see him. Hang on. Hang on. Don't tell me the piece of fabric's not in there. This is Snail. This is the volume 8 project, just sort of sitting around looking at me. So you can see my colours. Some neutrals. Oh dear. Where is the piece of fabric? Oh, can I lift? Someone's tray of goodies is here. Maybe it's under there. Doesn't matter, I suppose. I'll do a proper video when it comes to me being finished with retreats. But Sherry gets 2 pieces of cloth. She folds over that edge. She's doing a series of little videos for those joining this slow stitch business and showing her technique and styling. She'll get 2 pieces like that, and this is that English paper piecing feel. She'll whip stitch that together, so right sides together. Then once that's joined, she's got these 2 seams. She then does a stitching down to hold that seam down, and that's how she pieces her fabric together. So before the girls all got here, I got some of the neutrals out of my stash for the project and some of these scrappy bits, because I've got now scraps, which is great, of some of these fabrics, because I've been making little blocks. I'd like to work these into the project. Now these are from that, is it Alice Caroline book? I showed it in a previous video. I'm too tired to jump up and grab the book now. Oh my goodness. So I've been fiddling around with all these blocks. I think I've got 12 and I'm a little bit over blocks at the moment. So I think that will do for now. Maybe I'll have a block making day, you know, later in the year to get me some more. I don't know what I'm doing wrong too. Some of them are huge. Look at that. That one doesn't work. So I don't know. There's another one that's just the wrong size. I don't know. I know there was one day I was cutting out all the pieces and I was chatting to Susanna on FaceTime, and she's chatting away and I'm trying to measure and cut and I couldn't do it. I said to her, I can't work with you yapping in my ear when it comes to precise measuring, you know, of pieces for a quilt. Okay, so where are we at? That's there. I like that. I like that. Where was that? What's going there for now? Where can I get this sparkly trim in? Maybe I've got enough on at the moment, but the trim should work. It just goes there. Fabric. We need a little bit of fabric. I might just take some little morsels off, and if they're with me, I can always add them. I sort of feel like I need maybe something down here, and I can like running stitch that or quilt it. Here's this one. Maybe we can handle that darker burgundy. Piece of that. It'll be good. I can leave this at home in the cupboard. So what else have I got to tell you? I think that's about all the news. It really is just playing with the girls. Oh, we've been laughing and mucking around. They're such a great bunch. Oh my goodness. I've got a few repeats. Hello to all the repeats that have come back and joined me. You're just such gorgeous girls. And then there's a few new blow-ins, which is always fun. So we're converting them to the tribe. I like that. I'm getting a real country vibe, aren't I? Which I'm okay with because strawberries in the field sort of works. I sort of feel like that needs to be maybe like that. So I'll sort of get a rough throw down here, you know, just slap it down and see where it goes. I can always jiggle things when I have a moment to let my mind sort of rest. And the other thing is some of these things need to slightly tuck in underneath other things. Otherwise it'll look too plonk plonk. Does that make sense? I wonder if that should go there. No. I think that's good. I think it's lace is what I'm needing. That's sort of just not quite right. But that's okay. We'll get pins into it Maybe we need a bit of this old ticking. I sort of have. Maybe that goes through there. But anyway, like that. Let's have it coming across the front of the strawberries. I'm stitching them, Corinne. You can see how quickly your piece gets bigger. Because you just want too much stuff on your project. That's all right. I can live with that. We can have the strawberries peeking out from there. That's a funny spot in my mind. That can have a piece of lace or something. There's a piece lying here, you know, something lacy, but that's at the end. It'll just be about getting the fabrics down at the moment. Now we'll start just pulling it all in tighter. I'm thinking. As for seaming it up, I think I'll just overstitch, just, you know, whip around the outside with a pearl cotton thread, yeah. So I'll fold it in half. I'll leave a gap to fill it. Now, something else I want to do is before I fill it, I want to put a piece of firm acrylic, not acrylic, like a plastic. Not as thick as this, but yeah, maybe, I don't know. I've got to find something in the inside so that the needle, when it goes through, it doesn't poke out the back. Or cardboard would work. This one here I made when COVID hit, and I love her because she's a little sampler, but the needles come out the back. So if I pick it up, the thing bites me. I need to redo that, fix it. And I've also got walnut, crushed walnut. Hang on, let me grab that. Walnut, no, I don't have it. Where is it? I can't see it. I just wanted to show it to you in case you didn't know what I'm talking about. So it's like walnut shells that have been finely crushed. You pop them inside a needlebook. Needlebook. Thingy. This. And the needle goes in and it can sharpen it. So definitely got some of that. I feel like I need something else. Like that's just a great colour, isn't it? Don't know about that colour. Maybe I need that colour over here. Maybe that's the problem. Where's that stamp? You're a little cutie. Haven't even looked at the French General, have we? Maybe we do that. Maybe we do that. Like that. I like you coming out of there. You can stay. I feel like I need to drift some of these fabrics across. Mind you, I'm looking at this as one spread this way. Technically, it's folded in half. So you're only really looking at that. So I'm probably overthinking this. I'm overworking it. Yeah, I am. I am. So if I found a lace that maybe went along the bottom there, just to marry that together, I think I'd be able to do that. Got the word strawberries. I'm thinking I'm going to do that. That was my instinct when I was cutting that out. I'm like, no, don't do that because it'll be too small and you may not be able to use it. Yeah, let's do that. So remember, that's there, about middle. That's the other side. That's not very exciting, that side. Mind you, there's the bottom to the piece, isn't there? That's my favourite. Love that. This looks a bit disjointed. Looks like a plop and a plop. It's not together. All right, French General. Maybe there's something in here that we can poke in. Let's have a little look. I think I got this from Gales. I think this pack is a little bit older now, isn't it? The colours don't seem right. That's not the pack. That's come from somewhere else. I used a bit of this on my Just Because quilt, so it's got a bit messed up. See that there caught my eye. These little flowers. Let's investigate that further. That was going on to houses at the retreat. I was watching this piece of fabric be worked into it. Maybe that's what I could bring together there. Just take a little piece. It's got a perforated edge, so we might just eliminate that. Well, no one's appeared yet. It must be about, I don't know, 4:30-ish, I think. I woke at 3:15. I've had a shower, so it must be about 4:30. I don't know. I don't have my phone nearby. No one's poked their head out yet. That's good. We can keep mucking around here. I might bring that down a bit. Okay. So if that's the middle, that's getting better. Let's take, I like how this is just a pop of blue. I think we need to take a pop of blue over here, which does, I suppose it doesn't really need it because we're looking at only one side of it, but I do like that colour in there just to break up the reds. That's, oh, I'm loving that. You know, when you cover that, that's looking great. That, not so much yet. No more French General. I don't think we need that. We haven't done you. I don't think we need any more checks and all of that. Gosh, I hope I don't lose my voice. I'd say it's because I've still got the, you know, the COVID-y coffee little thing happening, hanging around. We'll put that away, we'll put that away. We don't need any of that. Let's have a look at some lace. Need a container of lace to rummage through. Is there anything handy? I wonder if there's anything in amongst these girls' stashes here. Look. No, I can't be looking in there. Can't be snipping off people's lacy bits. Oh, I'd have something myself. I don't need that. Hang on. Oh, here we go. A yo-yo. We don't have room for yo-yos. Oh, I picked this basket up at the local craft market before the girls all got here. Hang on, my chair's gone now. The pump thing that holds those office chairs up, I think mine's failing because as I film, I get lower and lower and lower. And then when I get back in, it's like, oh my goodness, I'm way down on the floor. Look, I found this. This was on the floor under my chair. Let's put that under there. Let's bring it forward. Yep, like that. So yeah, I went to the local Burrum Hall Saturday before all of this started, and they had like a maker's market, craft ladies. So I picked up a few baskets. If I've already told you this, I apologise. I've lost track of what the hell's happening. Let's have a look. I do love a crocheted edge. I'm thinking that might be my little extra morsel there. I will have a seam stitching this together, so that needs to be out of the way. That can come up to there. That can come there. Now I've got someone else's scissors. Don't touch people's stuff. Ooh. There we go. I'll have to double check that that's not going to be in the way when this all comes together, but I think it'll be all right. Well, if I can get this all stitched down and maybe some running stitch here and there, that'll be good. And then maybe tomorrow I might take the threads to thread paint this. Like, this might be wishful thinking too, because we are doing another section to the project, so it's possible that I don't even get this out to work on, which is okay. I just feel good that I've managed to sneak in here, film this, and get myself a sneaky little project. I'm going to bring that out of there. Just feel like that needs to come out. Maybe that goes down. Anyway, that's detail when I stitch. Now we need some lace over here. What have we got? Anything circular? Tatting, that's what we need. Tatting. When all else fails, tatting. Tatting. Little box here with some tatting in it. Something fine, because we're tiny. It's like, oh, that's a bit big. Some red tatting would have been super cool, but we don't have red tatting. All right, tatting it is. I reckon this one. And maybe the tatting goes down this corner in here. Oh, I can hear a door. I think they've gone into the shower. Sneaking around, aren't we? It was funny yesterday. I thought, oh, I'm awake. It was like, I don't know, 3:30. And I thought, oh, I'll sneak out and I'll clean the toilets, like give the bathrooms a bit of a wipe over. So I made myself up a bucket of disinfectant and off I went. And everyone spotted me. They were all lying on their beds, maybe with the door ajar, just relaxing. And here I am cleaning toilet. And then I went out to Gaz's shed. I've got a bathroom out there. I'm cleaning that toilet and I got spotted. And then I thought, I'll head back to ours. So I cleaned our toilet. And Gaz is like, were you cleaning the toilet at 3:30 in the morning? Maybe. I think that's it, guys. Like, how much more do you want on your pincushion? That's good. That's really good. Let's pin it. Where'd the pins get to? Rabbit, where are you? They're on the desk. Okay. We just need a couple. I just methodically work across the piece. I won't do the layout of the second one because I think it'd be biting off more than I can chew. And maybe once I get this one out of my system, I may not make another one. But it's there. And I can use this just to lay over the top. Yeah, there's one coming out looking at me. That one's the American that's come from America. Trish is with me. My gorgeous girl that took me around LA. Remember we went to the fashion district of LA and Carlos and Trish picked me up. I have to pinch a pin from one of the girls here. So Trish is up. Yeah, I'll find more pins when I finish filming. I think we'll do white ribbon flowers. That'd look really neat. I don't think I need any more lace, so I can put that away. French General didn't really happen. Tiny little piece, but that's good. The little ginghams, they've worked out. We don't need this very old French fabric. That can go away. All right, we'll worry about threads another day because that needs to be stitched down. So all I really need is that and some cotton, which is in with the hexy stuff. Let me grab that. There'll be scissors somewhere at everyone's desk as I wander around the day. So that, a needle. Okay. Gee, that's hard to push through. Why is that hard to push through? Are you starting to break down? Don't like that needle. This one here I do. All right, so needle, thread. It's pinned to some degree. There we go. Oh, I didn't get you on. Hang on. Hold the phone. Just when you thought you guys were going. Okay. Where can we pop you in? Oh, easily. But it'll depend on the fold. Maybe this bling's got to come down here because this is still a little bland for my liking. So yeah, we'll just leave that for now. And when I come and do the final, you know, tizzying it all up, we should be right. That's enough work. I'll be pleased if I get that done today. All right, guys, I'm going to tune out. I've probably, I've already talked to you guys on making strawberries for 46 minutes, and I think there's some footage in there talking about Diane's pop-up shop, and I filmed in the actual retreat. So I'm going to sign out. My next video will be probably down in Newcastle next week. Unless I tack on the end, I'll tack on the end of this video a bit of where we all got with our boxes for the Hervey Bay retreat. Anyway, I'll sign out for now and I'll see you in a moment. Bye. Hi guys, I'm back. I'm just clearing up my little mess here and getting myself ready to go. I'll leave the video at that. I'll take a little bit more because I want to get it up to you guys. If I don't, it'll be the weekend before you see this video. So I think what I'll do is finish it there and I can upload it and you guys then can see, and I will keep filming the retreat and maybe start the next video with the end of Hervey Bay and the start of Newcastle. Who knows? We'll just, I'm just rolling with the punches, so they say. All right, guys, I will say goodbye and I'll catch you in the next videos. Bye.